Hey there, welcome everybody. It's SMA Live in the afternoon. And guess what? Guess who's 50? If you guess me, I'm upset. Really, your better guess would have been Emily Cooper, but that's also incorrect. We got the 50th anniversary of the Battle of Atlanta. We got Toby Ruth joining me right now, who's going to help us talk about this event. Toby, I know it's crazy. You're actually at the battle in Atlanta right now. I've been hearing your phone go off all the time, last minute stuff. Things are ready to go, but 50 years of the Battle of Atlanta. We're going to cover how special that is in just a second, but let's begin with Friday Night Fights.
Let's talk about it. We got, a few years ago, we started with two main events. It's kind of complicated, difficult to pull off, but we wanted to make Friday Night Fights sort of a tribute to, the tradition of the fighter at the Battle of Atlanta. Saturday night tends to be more of the NASCAR championships, the overall grands for all the divisions. So we wanted to build in more of the fighters thing where we could honor that tradition. So this year we've got some pretty awesome fights, hopefully expected. We're gonna kick it off with a sport jiu-jitsu challenge match, and Daniel Jimenez is gonna handle that. He's got two teams coming in to kind of just give us a little exhibition match for that. Then we're going to have, the open weight championships for youth 15 to 17 girls and the boys. And those are going to go to the stage on Friday night. So the last two matches of those divisions will be there. The championship match for the women's open weight 18 plus will be on stage on Friday Night Fights. And the youth boys black belt team sparring will also be on the stage, the championship match. So then we get to a little bit of different scenario. We're going to take the open weight semifinalists to the stage and have two matches there. And then we'll take the winner of those two matches will actually go to Saturday night. Then we split up our team divisions into international and national. This kind of gives a little more parity and allows teams from outside the U.S. to come in and feel like they don't have to get slammed into the, one division with all the same people that travel the NASCAR circuit. So we split it up into international, national, and we'll have the championship matches of the national division and the international division on Friday Night Fights. The winner of those two divisions will go to Saturday Night Battle Zone show and go head-to-head in the main event for Saturday. Then finally on Friday night, we got two semi-contact championship matches between our defending champions, Johanna Scottwald from Germany. He's out of Oliver Drexler School. And then obviously Ross Levine, kind of the headliner for the Friday Night Fights. And they're both going to be defending their championships. And we had some contestant changes due to visas and some injuries. So Ross is actually going to, right now he's scheduled to fight AJ Weatherford, who's a local Atlanta guy out of Kelly Leo's, one of his people. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be fighting Ross. And then Leslie, I can't remember this guy's name. He's from South Africa. His last name, I can never pronounce it. So, but actually, he's from Namibia, not South Africa. So that's the Namibian Fighting Federation. They're coming in. They bring a big contingent every year, and so he's stepped in to replace Jack Felton, who still is recovering from his injuries. So that's kind of the rundown on Friday Night Fights. It's going to be an awesome night of fighting. So if you're into that and you want to kick off the Battle of Atlanta the right way, we're going to have a great night starting at we're going to start at 8 o'clock on Friday night, and we're super excited. So I'm really excited about the team divisions too. I know all the teams haven't registered yet, but they usually come in at full force the last few days. I know in the men's open weight right now we are already at 39 guys.
Right, 39 right now, because
right now,
if registration, you can still register.
Exactly. So I'm sure we're going to split that division just to get it run in time to get the two semifinal matches before Friday Night Fights. And we had the same thing last year, so it wasn't a big deal. But what I really want to push with that is that, last year, James Poore came out of that division. Relatively not really known last year, but he went through the Battle of Atlanta with 39 guys and came out. And, he ended up winning his weight class and winning the overalls in point sparring, too. So he went undefeated last year at the Battle of Atlanta. So, it doesn't matter if you're a known fighter or an unknown fighter. The Battle of Atlanta is the place to be on the stage, to get people to recognize you. And if you run that gauntlet, then you put some serious cred behind yourself as a point sparrer.
I think you're exactly right. I remember being there, and as you said, James Poore from New York, Next Level. He's I sat there and I watched, and if I remember right, I think it was Ross that helped me last year because you guys split the open weight division, literally 2 rings back to back, and I was able to stream to the left, and Ross was able to stream to the right. And there's little JP up there just running around. He makes it through that entire open weight division, and then goes on and wins overall. He didn't lose a match that entire weekend. I mean, that's the type of stuff you find in the Battle of Atlanta. From my experience, I think I remember the 25th Battle of Atlanta. I think that's what it was when I first started competing. And it's just massive. If you want to fight, if you enjoy sport, any type of combat sports, this is going to be the place to be. I remember it being in the Georgia Dome. I remember having 57 competitors in my division. This is going to be an exciting weekend. One of the things also I'd like to mention is you're still registering teams. Let me just rattle off a couple of teams that you just mentioned to me. We got Team Proper. I think they got 2 teams in there. We've got the All-Stars. We've got Team Dojo Elite. We got Next Level. We've got JPM. There's some other combined teams that don't have a specific name, but I'm pretty sure they're organized at the time. There hasn't been an event yet with all of these teams. These are top-ranked teams with some of the top players out there. And the thing that's unfortunate today is that a lot of teams pick and choose. We're going to go to this tournament. We're not going to go to this tournament. So you always have the argument, who's the top team? It's very rare to see all these guys be at one event. And we'll get to answer that question, who is the best for this weekend? Because just because you win this weekend doesn't mean you're the top dog. So, I mean, talk to me about that. You got all these guys here.
So I know there's still a huge Florida contingent that's coming. We got, Team DKS. They're one of our sponsors. They've sponsored some divisions, to kind of help promote themselves and their team.
Mm-hmm.
WKF, Alex Reyes' team, they're coming. Team Velocity's coming. So we got a few guys coming.
Got the
that I know from Florida that haven't registered yet. I know a guy just posted on here, Barrett Hampton, he's talking about no continuous fighting. We're not doing continuous in the traditional sense of continuous fighting, but our RCFAI divisions, they're semi-contact, but they are continuous fighting type divisions. So anybody that's looking for that heavy hitting and the continuous fighting, you can register in the RCFAI, and we have divisional competitions for those as well. So
that is going to be absolutely incredible. Shout out to Michael Simmons, who brought up one of my old teammates, Peter Linde. That is from way back in the day at Team Elite. There's so many memories just from this event. For me personally, I've flown there, I've driven overnight and come back. I've made it any way possible down there. You haven't lived until you drove to Atlanta, fight, and then come back within a 24-hour period. That's serious exercise. 8-hour drive for me. Let's see. Last year, it was so exciting to see Ross, and the guy that he fought from South Africa was as tough as nails. Ross was hitting him with body shot after body shot. Let's briefly review some of those rules because there's no knockout to the head.
Correct.
You have a body shot, knockout, or knockdown. Again, safety of the fighter paramount. But let's review some of those rules with people if they're not familiar.
Well, I mean, it's 10-9 scoring, just like a lot of people are familiar with, in full contact. But it's there is no knockouts to the head, so that's automatic disqualification because we're not trying to get into the full contact kickboxing stuff. So, but it is semi-contact to the head, and we do have full. You can knock out to the body because if you watch the fight, Ross Levine was literally wailing on that guy. He took some serious licks, and he was another last-minute addition. I think the guy who was supposed to fight. Again, I couldn't get in from a visa or something. So that guy did a great job being prepared. The South African guys really do a great job in training for this type of fighting. Trying to think. Other than that, off the top of my head, I don't think there's a whole lot of differences in some of the kickboxing rules. And I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I think that those are the 2 big ones that people kind of need to know. The scoring is a little different. You're not going to see the point scoring like you do. We stop. It's continuous. They're going to go I'm trying to think. I think it's a minute rounds or 2-minute rounds. Now that you're asking me, I don't remember.
Yeah, everything's going.
I think it's a minute round. There's 5 rounds on both fights. So there will not be a stoppage unless there's an injury or the referee deems there needs to be a breakup, just like you would see in a kickboxing match. But it's not a full contact fight by any means. We don't want to get into all that stuff.
That comes with its own set of complications.
There's too many complications with that. So it is semi-contact, and so it'll be a great match. It'll be the closest thing we'll do to it, here. Because the Battle of Atlanta years ago was known for PKA kickboxing. I mean, we had so many world title fights here. Joe Corley used to promote those. I mean, way back when Battle of Atlanta first kicked off. And I mean, the great legends that came out of there, Joe Lewis, Bill Wallace, some of these guys, like Bill Wallace is supposed to be here this weekend. And Joe's having a big gathering of his, legendary competitors from over the years. He's bringing all these guys in for a special reception. So we're excited for that. But other than that, that's kind of the rules. I mean, it's not going to be a stop and go kind of thing. It is a continuous type fight. So,
well, as you said, it has its roots based in combat, fighting. So 50 years, did you ever think that you get to this mark and you guys are really celebrating 50 years of excellence? It's been one of the staple tournaments since I've been competing. My dad talked about it. It's been around. What does that 50th anniversary mean to you guys?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you've been in sport karate for any length of time, you've heard of the Battle of Atlanta. So when we took over, we were like everybody else. I mean, we were a family that kind of came up. Obviously, my brother was a big time fighter back in the day, and he came up, fought Battle of Atlanta. I used to compete myself a long time ago when not quite the level that Brian did, but I did my time, not as much. But you hear about the Battle of Atlanta, and I would say other than the great legends and the things that Joe did all through the 80s into the 90s, and when we took over in 2012, 2013. One of our goals was to carry on that legacy that Joe created for all those years, and with having just humongous events that were just fighter oriented. I mean, you talked about it back when it was in the Georgia Dome, and it was something to see. And so one of the things we've been trying to do, since Truth Entertainment took over, is rebuild that legacy, rebuild that idea. And I think one of the things that we don't really talk about a lot in the national level is how the local regional people in the Atlanta area have really been keeping up the fighting arts specifically. You have great instructors around here like Tony Young.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these guys, they travel all over fighting regionally, and they're super competitive. And, a lot of guys don't get to see them until they come into Atlanta. Marcel Lazenby's got a great school down here, Next Level South. I mean, these guys down here, the dojo schools, I mean, there are so many schools around here that fighting, they've kept it going for years and years and years. You can even go up into the United Karate Studio schools up in North Georgia. Those guys, I mean, they're old school. I mean, you get in there and it's an old way of fighting. I mean, it's completely different. So I contribute a lot of the success of that to those kinds of things. But you really got to go back to what Joe did back in the 80s, establishing that just amazing atmosphere for fighting. With the PKA and, even building into the Battle and the tournament part of it itself. The PKA really used to headline it with Karate Mania and all that. Mm-hmm. And Joe, I mean, you can't say enough about what it was, and what it's been over the last 50 years. And, we're excited to be a part of the 50th. The Ruth family can't take full credit for that. I mean, Joe Corley, this is what Joe Corley established over his lifetime. And that's something that needs to be honored and respected. And we tried our best to maintain that for him. We're excited about where it's being here at the 50th, and we're excited about where hopefully the battle is going to go in the next, however many years. So.
Absolutely. And you guys have done a fantastic job. It had been a number of years since I'd been to the Battle of Atlanta a couple of years ago, and actually talking to your dad at a different tournament. And he said, I really want you to come. I know you haven't been here in a couple of years, and things not only run like clockwork, they're so professional with the setup. I mean, I don't have the pictures today, but if you go to your Facebook page for the Battle of Atlanta or the Battle of Atlanta website, just the way it's themed. I love the cartoon aspect. I know your brother's really big in the comics. We talk a lot about that. I mean, the Ruth family has done a great job of taking this to the next level, which it definitely shows. There are a lot of people talking about the buzz is just great. You're there already hard working this year. It's a couple days before anything even starts. And then you got the Competitive Edge camp that's coming up. I think that's Thursday morning, if I remember right. And just everything that just going on with this, everything's going to go rolling into it. It's going to be a great, as Mr. Simmons says, it's going to be a great Father's Day weekend for all the fathers out there. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be in there late Thursday night, be there all day Friday, all day Saturday. We'll be broadcasting every single thing we can for you for Sport Martial Arts. We're going to have all the live streams. Of course, stay tuned to our Facebook page. And if you haven't signed up to our YouTube page to get as many streams as we can bring you from all the rings. Toby, I'm going to give you the last word. Anything you want to say about late minute registration, hotel? If somebody just said, oh, I want to go to the Battle of Atlanta right now, I don't have a room, or what can I do? What would you – well, first chastise them for not getting on board early, but what would you tell somebody?
Well, I'm not going to chastise anybody for anything. I mean, we all got life decisions to make. But there are definitely – and we're still expecting a huge local contingent to just come in this weekend. They don't need hotel rooms. I had a couple of rooms, just wink, wink, whoever can call a hotel fast enough. Don't call me because I don't have – it'd take me a lot longer to get it done if you just called the hotel directly. I know I had 2 rooms open up this morning. So at the Waverly, just 2. They may be gone by now. That was 2 hours ago. But, yeah, definitely get that in. I just want to say if you're looking for, like, great competition, especially if you're a fighter, you're not going to find any better than here. That's my belief. I mean, I have to say that as part of being, one of the promoters of this event. I got to say this is the place to be, and I think the legacy speaks to that itself. I mean, and I didn't create that, but I'm here to sustain it and keep building it. If you're looking for to build up your competition training, I would suggest coming to the Competitive Edge Camp on Thursday. There's still slots available for that. You can register for that through our website. The Presley brothers, Jackson Rudolph, Kenzie Emery, they kind of run that Competitive Edge training camp. They started it here at the Battle of Atlanta. I know they do it throughout the year in other places, but I think the first one was here. So that's on Thursday, and we're once we get that started, we're running, we're rocking and rolling until the end of the weekend. So I got to give a great shout out. You mentioned how it's organized and looks professional. That takes a great team, and I've got a great team behind me. From all of my ProMac regional promoters who come in and help work, and they work hard all weekend long to Eric Rudolph and Ronnie Presley, they're my tournament directors, and they do a fantastic job. I got Malt Maker Media coming in here. Are my brother's company, and they do a lot of the production stuff. I mean, it's a huge team. SMA. I mean, you guys are part of the team. I mean, everybody's part of it. All the NASCAR promoters come in. I mean, it's a great team effort, and you can't pull off an event like this without great people. And we're surrounded by them, and I think that's what makes sport karate, a wonderful thing, is being a part of such a great family and great group of people. So we invite you to come out. Don't let 39 people in the open weight scare you.
Don't be intimidated.
You got to come out and you got to set yourself up for that. But it's exciting. I'm anxious to see what teams continue to come in. I'm anxious to see the forms and weapons competitors. If you're an underbelt locally, regionally, nationally, and you want to come in and test it out, we have a place for you for that. So just go to the website and register, and look for any footage on SMA if you can't make it. So I know Alex Reyes is also going to be here, point fighter. But you can go to our website at battleofatlanta.com, and we'll get you in here if you want to get in here. But hotel rooms, you might want to try to call Connections or the hotel directly, because those have been gone for months.
That's true. So, hotel is sold out for the exception of 2 rooms, which probably are gone already, but still, who knows? Give it a shot. Well, Toby, I thank you. I know you got a million things to do right after this, so thanks for giving us the time. I'll be there. We'll be bringing you everything we can. I can't wait for this Battle Atlanta weekend. It's starting to get hot. I think I asked you already. It's blazing hot down there. Hot Atlanta summer is getting ready to kick on off.
Yeah, it's hot in Georgia, but out here, so y'all make sure you bring your shorts and T-shirts. But if you're ready to have a great weekend, we're ready for you. So
there you go, Toby Ruth from the Battle Atlanta. Guys, stay tuned. We will be bringing you everything starting Friday. I think about noon. I think we're going to be kicking
off Friday at noon with competitions.
All right, make sure you pay attention, Toby. Again, thanks for being a guest. You guys stay tuned for excellence this weekend at the Battle of Atlanta. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Mallory.